Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Shaver. Welcome to the final spring episode of Tommy Media's The Locker Room. The St. Thomas football team is back on the field and is preparing for Saturday's spring game. The Tommies are coming off their best season in school history and seek their third consecutive MIAC title. In late May, St. Thomas will travel north of the border to take on a club team in Winnipeg. I'm joined today by Coach Glenn Caruso, sophomore wideout Dan Neering, and junior linebacker Paul Carlson. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Coach, a lot of last year's talent's moving on. You got some new faces stepping into some key roles. How will Saturday's spring game affect your roster decisions?
Well, tremendously. I mean, not just can the guys make the plays of the voids that were left by the graduating classes, but even moreover, the practices and the practice opportunities we've had, allowing these guys to step into their new roles. One of the reasons why these two young men are on with me is because guys who played their position were prominent players last year. Namely, you take guys like Fritz and Tony Dana. And so obviously they're working tirelessly to replace their productivity, but they're also working tirelessly to replace their leadership roles, and they've done a great job.
Right, and Dan, you lost your starting quarterback, running back, star receiver, and a couple linemen. What's the adjustment period going to be like?
I mean, it's always hard to lose great leaders like those guys, and I feel like because they were such great leaders, a lot of us are more prepared coming into this great season, and I feel extremely ready, and we're taking on what's to come as it comes.
And then, Paul, at the end of the month, you guys are traveling to Canada. What do you expect to gain from the experience?
I think we definitely expect to gain just some time in some plays against other opponents. We've been going for 3-4 weeks against our own guys, and just to see different faces, not knowing what they're like, they don't know what we're like. So just to get on the field and treat it like another game in the fall, just to get that leg up on the opponents in the MIAC and around the country.
Coach, your fall recruiting class is finalized.
Yep.
Has your recent success made it easier to recruit talent here?
In some ways. I mean, there's a lot of things. I spoke openly about last year's senior class, and we recruited them before we had any winning records, any championships, undefeated season, national rankings, facilities. And that heart of recruiting still remains the same. We're still looking at the people that want to be at St. Thomas for all the right reasons. Sure, it broadens the spectrum of the types of kids. There might be some more scholarship kids that turn down scholarships at Division I or II schools because of maybe some of those tangible things. But at the end of the day, we want kids that want to come here for the right reasons, certainly education, but also to be a part of something great and be able to have excellence on the field, in the classroom, and in their personal lives. And that never changes in recruiting, but extremely happy with the way the recruiting process has gone. Could not be happier.
Great. And now it's time for this week's fan question. It's for Coach, and it comes from St. John's senior Jake Ingles, and he wants to know if you put a greater emphasis on the Tommy Johnny game or if all the hype's just student-driven.
I don't think it's necessarily just student-driven. I think a lot of it is, you've got generations of student athletes and alumni that are out that also drive it as well in the community, and there's a lot of fun camaraderie between those two. I say a lot of the time these are guys that you're going to compete intently with on game day, but then 20 years from now you're going to be friends and doing business with in this local community. As for last year's game, there's no added victory or no added emphasis on it. I mean, you win one game by 50. The year before you win one game by 1 point. It doesn't matter. We'll take a win, and it doesn't matter in what fashion it comes. We're just happy to have the success and the W's.
Great. Well, thanks again for you guys being here, and good luck in the fall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have a question for Coach Caruso, be sure to tweet it to @TommyMedia. With Coach Caruso and sophomore Dan Neering and junior Paul Carlson, I'm Ryan Shaver. It's been real, St. Thomas. Be sure to check back next fall for a new season of The Locker Room.